William Ewart Gladstone 1868-1874. William Ewart Gladstone, born on December 29, 1809, into a family with a strong tradition of political involvement, emerged as one of the most influential British statesmen of the 19th century. Beginning his political journey at a relatively young age, Gladstone's commitment to public service became evident during his tenure as a Member of Parliament, MP, in the 1830s. His early years in politics were marked by his affiliation with the Tory party, but over time, Gladstone underwent a political transformation that eventually led him to become a prominent figure within the Liberal Party. Gladstone's political career saw him serve in various ministerial roles, including positions related to finance, before he ascended to the highest office in the land. His reputation as a formidable orator and a man of principles solidified during these formative years, earning him respect and recognition across party lines. The period from 1868 to 1874 marked a pivotal chapter in William Ewart Gladstone's political career as he assumed the role of Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This era was characterized by significant political, social, and economic challenges, and Gladstone's leadership played a crucial role in navigating the nation through these turbulent times. Gladstone's leadership was defined by a commitment to progressive and reformist ideals. As Prime Minister, he embarked on a series of groundbreaking reforms that aimed to address pressing issues within British society. His policies during this period had a lasting impact on the political landscape, shaping the trajectory of the country and influencing future leaders. Furthermore, Gladstone's leadership during these years was marked by his dedication to principles such as parliamentary reform, social justice, and fiscal responsibility. His ability to navigate complex political landscapes and implement substantial reforms earned him a reputation as a statesman who was not only visionary but also capable of translating his ideals into tangible changes that benefited the nation. William Ewart Gladstone was born into a family deeply entrenched in British politics and commerce. His father, Sir John Gladstone, was a successful merchant and a Member of Parliament. Growing up in a politically engaged environment, young Gladstone's upbringing was characterized by exposure to the intellectual and philosophical debates of the time. Educated at home by private tutors, Gladstone's early education laid the foundation for his keen intellect and deep understanding of classical literature, philosophy, and theology. His studies at Eton College and later at Christ Church, Oxford, further enriched his academic pursuits. At Oxford, Gladstone excelled academically and demonstrated a remarkable proficiency in classical languages, earning the nickname the G.O.M. Grand Old Man from his peers. Gladstone's upbringing and education instilled in him a strong sense of duty, morality, and a commitment to public service. His classical education not only shaped his eloquent and persuasive oratory skills but also influenced his political philosophy, emphasizing the importance of individual liberties and moral responsibility. William Gladstone's entry into politics was a natural progression given his familial background and intellectual curiosity. In 1832, at the age of 22, he entered the political arena as the Tory Member of Parliament for Newark, marking the beginning of a career that would span over 6 decades. Gladstone's early years in politics were marked by his adherence to conservative principles. He held various ministerial positions, including roles related to trade and finance, under Prime Minister Sir Robert Peel. However, his political evolution became evident during the debates over the Corn Laws, where he broke ranks with the Tory leadership to advocate for free trade. This decision marked a significant shift in his political allegiance, leading him to join the Liberal Party. As a Liberal, Gladstone continued to ascend the political ladder, showcasing his intellectual prowess and commitment to reform. His early career milestones included serving as Chancellor of the Exchequer, where he implemented significant financial reforms, including the reduction of tariffs and taxes. The period of William Ewart Gladstone's first term as Prime Minister, spanning from 1868 to 1874, was characterized by a host of pressing political and social issues. The Victorian era was marked by rapid industrialization, urbanization, and social upheaval. The key challenges of the time included demands for increased political representation, concerns about working conditions and labor rights, and economic disparities exacerbated by industrialization. As Prime Minister, Gladstone was at the forefront of addressing these challenges through a series of notable policies and reforms. One of the landmark achievements during this period was the passage of the Second Reform Act in 1867. This legislation significantly expanded the franchise by enfranchising urban male working-class voters, addressing some of the demands for increased political representation. Gladstone also championed social and educational reforms. The Elementary Education Act of 1870 was a key milestone, laying the foundation for a more structured and inclusive approach to primary education. This act aimed to improve literacy rates and provide a basic education for children, marking a crucial step towards creating a more equitable society. Gladstone's tenure as Prime Minister was marked by economic challenges, including issues related to trade, finance, and taxation. Gladstone, an advocate of free trade, faced the task of managing the economic impact of globalization and industrialization. His commitment to free trade principles led to policies aimed at reducing tariffs and promoting economic liberalization. The economic challenges also extended to fiscal matters, where Gladstone sought to implement responsible financial policies. His budgets aimed at balancing the books and reducing public debt, reflecting his belief in sound economic management and fiscal responsibility. On the foreign policy front, Gladstone grappled with several challenges during his prime ministership. The era saw significant geopolitical shifts, and Gladstone had to navigate international relations carefully. One notable foreign policy consideration was the Alabama Claims dispute with the United States. The resolution of this issue, which stemmed from British support for Confederate naval vessels during the American Civil War, required diplomatic finesse. Additionally, Gladstone faced challenges related to the Eastern Question, involving the decline of the Ottoman Empire and tensions in the Balkans. The handling of these complex geopolitical issues required strategic decision-making and diplomatic skill. William Ewart Gladstone's commitment to parliamentary reform was a cornerstone of his reformist agenda during his prime ministership. The Second Reform Act of 1867 was a landmark piece of legislation that aimed to address the issue of political representation in the face of societal changes brought about by industrialization and urbanization. The act extended the right to vote to a significant segment of the urban male working class, marking a substantial expansion of the franchise. The act lowered property qualifications for voting in boroughs, increasing the number of eligible voters and fostering a more inclusive political system. This reform was a response to the growing demand for expanded political representation and marked a significant step towards a more democratic and representative government. Gladstone's commitment to parliamentary reform went beyond the Second Reform Act. His efforts contributed to the gradual expansion of voting rights and representation, reflecting a broader shift towards a more inclusive democracy. The extension of voting rights laid the groundwork for a political landscape that more accurately reflected the diverse interests and opinions of the population. Gladstone's commitment to social reform extended to the realm of education. The Elementary Education Act of 1870 was a pivotal piece of legislation that sought to address issues related to the accessibility and quality of education, particularly for the working-class population. The act established a framework for elementary education and marked a decisive move towards creating a more educated and skilled workforce. The Elementary Education Act laid the foundation for compulsory education for children, emphasizing the importance of literacy and basic education. It aimed to ensure that all children had access to elementary education, regardless of their socioeconomic background. This reform was instrumental in shaping the educational landscape of Britain and contributing to increased literacy rates. Efforts to improve working conditions and labor laws. Gladstone's reformist agenda also encompassed efforts to improve working conditions and labor laws. The rapid industrialization of the era brought about significant changes in the workplace, often to the detriment of workers. Gladstone recognized the need for legislative measures to address issues such as long working hours, unsafe conditions, and inadequate wages. William Ewart Gladstone's approach to economic issues was characterized by a commitment to fiscal responsibility and budgetary reforms. As a liberal statesman, Gladstone believed in the principles of financial prudence, limited government intervention, and sound economic management. His fiscal policies aimed to balance the budget, reduce public debt, and ensure responsible government spending. Gladstone's budgets were meticulous and often involved cutting expenditures in various government departments. His emphasis on financial discipline was driven by the belief that a well-managed economy would benefit all classes of society. The goal was to create a stable economic environment that would foster prosperity and economic growth. One of Gladstone's notable budgetary reforms was the creation of the Gladstonian finance model, which sought to balance the budget through careful management of government expenditures and taxation. His commitment to financial responsibility left a lasting impact on economic governance, influencing future generations of British policymakers. A cornerstone of Gladstone's economic philosophy was his unwavering advocacy for free trade. In the mid-19th century, Britain was undergoing significant economic changes due to industrialization, and debates over protectionism versus free trade were central to economic policy discussions. Gladstone firmly believed that free trade policies, which advocated for minimal government intervention in international trade, were essential for economic growth. He argued that removing trade barriers, such as tariffs and restrictions, would lead to increased competition, efficiency, and prosperity for the nation. Gladstone's impact on the economy through free trade was evident in his efforts to repeal the Corn Laws in 1846. This landmark decision removed protective tariffs on grain imports, contributing to a more open and competitive market. The embrace of free trade principles during his prime ministership further solidified his economic legacy. The impact of Gladstone's free trade policies extended beyond Britain's borders, influencing global economic dynamics. His commitment to open markets set the stage for Britain's role as a major advocate of free trade on the international stage. William Ewart Gladstone's foreign policy decisions during his prime ministership from 1868 to 1874 were marked by a nuanced approach to handling international conflicts. The era was characterized by geopolitical tensions and significant changes in the global balance of power. Gladstone, known for his pragmatic and diplomatic style, navigated these challenges with a focus on preserving peace and stability. One notable international conflict during this period was the Alabama Claims dispute with the United States. The dispute arose from the British-built Confederate naval vessel, CSS Alabama, which caused considerable damage to Union ships during the American Civil War. The United States sought reparations from Britain for the damages caused by the Alabama. Gladstone, keen on avoiding military conflict, pursued diplomatic negotiations to settle the dispute. The resulting Treaty of Washington in 1871 established an international arbitration process to address the Alabama claims. While the resolution did not entirely satisfy either side, it marked a significant diplomatic achievement, demonstrating Gladstone's commitment to resolving conflicts through peaceful means rather than resorting to war. Gladstone's foreign policy decisions also involved a mix of diplomatic achievements and challenges. In addition to the Alabama Claims resolution, he faced complex geopolitical issues related to the Eastern Question. The decline of the Ottoman Empire and tensions in the Balkans raised concerns about stability in the region and the potential for wider European conflicts. Gladstone's diplomatic efforts in addressing the Eastern Question were intricate. He aimed to maintain a balance of power in the region while navigating the complex relationships between European powers and the Ottoman Empire. His approach involved diplomatic engagement and negotiation, reflecting a commitment to preventing widespread conflict. However, the Eastern Question presented challenges that transcended diplomatic solutions. The complex ethnic and religious dynamics in the Balkans contributed to ongoing tensions, and finding a comprehensive resolution proved elusive during Gladstone's time in office. William Ewart Gladstone's impact on Victorian politics was profound and enduring. As a key figure in the 19th century political landscape, his legacy is characterized by a combination of principled leadership, political reform, and a commitment to liberal ideals. Gladstone's influence extended beyond his years in office, shaping the trajectory of British politics for generations to come. Oratory and conviction. Gladstone's leadership style was characterized by his powerful oratory skills and unwavering conviction. As a charismatic and persuasive speaker, he had the ability to rally support for his policies and communicate his vision effectively. His speeches often reflected a deep moral and philosophical commitment to liberal principles. Progressive ideals. Gladstone's leadership contributions were marked by a commitment to progressive ideals, including individual liberties, parliamentary reform, and social justice. His advocacy for free trade, expansion of voting rights, and educational reforms reflected a vision for a more inclusive and equitable society. Diplomacy and conflict resolution. In the realm of foreign policy, Gladstone's emphasis on diplomatic solutions and conflict resolution showcased a pragmatic and peace-oriented approach. His handling of international conflicts, such as the Alabama claims, demonstrated a commitment to resolving disputes through negotiation rather than resorting to military action. When compared to other prominent political figures of the Victorian era, Gladstone's legacy stands out for his commitment to liberal ideals and comprehensive reforms. His contemporary, Benjamin Disraeli, the leader of the Conservative Party, had a contrasting political style and focused more on preserving traditional institutions. The Gladstone-Disraeli rivalry defined much of Victorian politics, highlighting the ideological differences between liberalism and conservatism. In conclusion, William Ewart Gladstone's legacy is woven into the fabric of British political history. His enduring influence is evident in the continued discussion and application of his principles in contemporary debates on governance, economics, and social justice. The years 1868 to 1874, under Gladstone's leadership, were pivotal in shaping the course of Victorian Britain and continue to serve as a source of inspiration and reflection for those interested in the evolution of liberal ideals and political reform. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.